KLTV soundcheck, KLTV soundcheck.
Okay, welcome to last public meeting of the year. Yeah, it's been a quick year. Yeah, I know, right? We have Pastor Kennedy here today. He's going to lead us in an invocation. I just got to say, we've enjoyed having you guys all take the time and come and get us started right. It's been, we all three enjoy that and appreciate that very much. So
it's actually been our pleasure. We found that it's very, very important for us in the faith-based organizations to really pray for our servants. I mean, that's what my prayer is going to be about. Because Lord, we want to thank all the people that work in this county. Yeah. They take their jobs home with them, and we ask that you bless these families. We ask that you touch every single heart of these families. We ask, Lord, that as we close this year, we look back and can look with fondness. We look at the gains that were made, the good things that have happened. Sometimes we focus on the bad things, and we ask you, Lord, continue to move in these families' lives. When we see people in the areas of safety, of corrections, of schools and children, all those are very difficult jobs. And so we ask you, Lord, to be with those people. As we look to 2026, Lord, we ask that you put a blessing on Cowlitz County, that everyone finds a place where they can feel the manifest presence of God. And then we ask, Lord, for mental health in this area. We ask for minds to be renewed and changed. And so hope comes into play, and that'll take care of a lot of the physical needs of the people. And so we ask you, Lord, to be with them in a manifest way. And we pray all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Those that want to join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Ask for a motion for minutes of December 22nd to 24th.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of December 22nd through the 24th, 2025.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the minutes. Questions, comments, corrections? Seeing none, okay. Call for a vote. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Hang on just a second. I'm getting my chat screen up in case anybody chimes in. Run down through consent agenda, which is pretty much what we are today. First one is call for hearing. Building and planning, we have a call for hearing January 13th, 2026. It's on Cooper Hill subdivision. What I'm understanding, the change is this was a subdivision done roughly 5 years ago, and they're adding one lot to it. So we'll see that January 13th, 2026, 9:30 in here. Call for bids. Request for proposals for landfill gas services to provide landfill gas management. And this is scheduled for January 29th, 2026 at 3 p.m. So we got a bids going out for that. These people monitor the landfill, report data to the state, keep us in compliance. Agreements, contracts, bid awards to basically all the rental places. We put out a bid for the rental places because there's at times we'll need equipment that we don't have. I think one of the examples yesterday was a long reach excavator or different type things. And we accept all those bids that come in from the different rental places. And so we use them as needed as the year goes on. So that's what that is. Change order number 3 for Cloverdale Road, South Cloverdale Road. It's addition of gravel backfill to the wall. This wasn't included in the initial bid for whatever reason. It adds $6,300 to the bid. Contract completion letter to DeWitt Construction for Italian Creek Road. This has been completed. It came in at a little over 404,000, which was 40,000 actually under what we expected. So that's a good thing. Item 6, addendum number 1 to the lease agreement with Cowlitz Game and Anglers to develop and operate the Cowlitz Public Shooting Range. We extend that agreement until the end of December of this year, 2026. And then the sheriff is a sublease agreement for their range out there, and that's item 7. Amendment number 2, sublease agreement with Cowlitz Game and Anglers for the public shooting range to extend to the end of this year, 2026. Number 8 is adoption of, and we went over it in a workshop. I don't know, it wasn't that long ago, the Cowlitz Homeless Housing Plan. Finance Department interlocal agreement for district court services with the city of Longview. I think the only, and I know they've approved it, the only one that hasn't come in yet is the city of Kelso. And in the commissioner's office, we've posted the 2026 open public meeting calendar. Board letters, contracts, resolutions. We sent a letter dated 12/30/25 to Washington County's risk pool regarding a notice of potential withdrawal to the risk pool effective 2027. We've talked a lot about escalating costs, and this is one of those ones that we're pretty close to $1 million increase for the next 2 years, which is just crazy. So we're looking at alternatives, but we have to give them a year's notice basically to get out of there. So that's what we're doing, giving them notice. Annual report dated from the Lower Columbia Fish Enhancement. Executed contracts resolution. I'm going to group some of these because some of them go together. Items A and B is right-of-way purposes for the Allender Road. And then an easement for that same project. Item C through U are all, these are the South Cloverdale Road improvements. That project ran into some delays as projects do. The original easements are timing out, so these are re-signing of original easements. There's nothing new here. That's just getting them re-signed with a different end date. Items V and W are right-of-way easements or dike road reconstruction. And then X is a temporary construction easement for right-of-way purposes for the Tower Road Bridge replacement. Vouchers. Last week, vouchers in the amount of $1,848,026.60. That's consent agenda. Any questions, comments on that? I know I grouped a lot of that stuff.
Good morning, commissioners. Thank you. I'm a little further inquiry into item number 8, Health and Human Services, the 2025 through 30 Cowlitz Homeless Housing Plan. I had understood at the meeting that that was under being worked or some modifications or revisions of that after it. Is this the adoption of that plan? Is that what this is intended to be?
Let me say yes and no. We're adopting the version they have, and I think there were some amendments that came up when we had that workshop, Ron. But remember, these plans all have to be approved by the Department of Commerce. So this version will go to the Department of Commerce, and they have the ability to change it or stamp it and say it's good.
Okay, so at that workshop meeting, under the introduction, I had requested that we add a line to it or where it says the last sentence, statewide strategic plan developed by the Department of Commerce and consistent with the federal housing funding guidelines.
Okay,
Those statements be added. And that says it applies to American citizens.
right.
Was that added?
I remember that. And is Gina on? Is she available today? I thought she was.
I don't know if she is. Oh, good.
That should not hurt anybody's feelings and just making sure we're compliant with the federal housing plan.
She's coming on. Let's see.
Good morning, this is Gina. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can. Did you hear the question, Gina?
I did. We did not add a line in about complying with the federal standards. Our requirement is to be in compliance with the state guidelines and then adding our local priorities. If the board would like to add a statement in, we could do that.
Well, let me comment. We know that our Olympia leaders are fudging the plans. So we need to make it clear and concise.
Is it assumed that that plan is in compliance with the federal regulations?
My understanding is the state is sort of in the same spot we are, where they have to be in alignment with the federal strategic plan, and then we have to be in alignment with the state strategic plan. That's my understanding of how it kind of trickles down. Like I said, we could add something a little bit stronger if we wanted to. We did add several local priorities in addition to what is required by the Department of Commerce. So we did add kind of our own local thoughts and ideas.
I would say, Gina, that just looking at the actions of our governor, I wouldn't necessarily say that they're compliant with what the federal guidelines are as far as being a sanctuary state. So I'm in favor of adding something that says that we are going to be in compliance with federal guidelines. Also, just due to the fact that I think that these resources need to go to citizens first, and people who are citizens of our country.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay,
make a
I'm
note?
happy to add that in.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay.
Thank you.
Anything else on that one, Ron, before you?
No, I appreciate, and I bring it up and I hear exactly what you're saying, et cetera. We're a sanctuary state and they seem to be playing games, and we need to make it clear and concise from Cowlitz County perspective, and I appreciate that.
Mhm. Any other questions on consent? Okay, I'm not seeing any. I'd entertain a motion to approve.
I move approval of the consent agenda.
Okay, we have a motion to approve consent agenda. One last call for any comments. I'm seeing none there. Seeing none there. Okay, call for the vote. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. Quick update, then I'll open it up to public comment. We are closed next Thursday, or this Thursday. This Thursday is January 1st. So it's coming upon me quick. Okay. That's really Board of Health in the end of January. We're closed Martin Luther King Day, obviously. And then the Tuesday after, we've canceled the meeting on the 20th. Okay. Okay. Jim, I know you had something, sir. Councilman Gill from Kelso.
Good morning, Commissioners. I see the green light is on, so I'm assuming you can hear my lucid tones
We
up
can.
there. I provided you gentlemen with some information about an organization, and you probably haven't heard of it before. But in point of fact, it's been around for a while. The organization is Team Rubicon. When this organization was first founded, there was determined to be a need for our veterans to find productive outlets and continue their mission. They gave a lot wearing the uniform in the past 25, 30 years, frankly. And the program was developed to be not only therapeutic, but also to take advantage of the very unique skills that our veterans have. This organization is an NGO, and it deploys in times of national disasters and crises. These teams go where the need is, when the need is, and work in conjunction with first responders on the ground in these crises, work with the Red Cross, other agencies, state and federal, as a force multiplier. In other words, the teams that are deployed possess really unique skill sets, a lot of leadership training, a lot of knowing that you work with the guy next to you or the woman next to you, the girl next to you, to accomplish something, and their purpose is to accomplish something positive. That means they are dedicated to the proposition that crises happen and all hands are necessary to achieve some positive things during, before, and even after these disasters occur. My purpose in the next year is to play recruiter. I'm going to need some assistance getting the word out to especially our veterans, but also to our various badged officers. As you know, the sheriff's office and all the police departments in the county are populated by a large number of veterans. One of our difficulties is always in enlisting badged officers with their unique skills, getting time off in order to participate in these things. So I'm just throwing that out there as a consideration that we have a lot of veterans and SO and all of our PDs that would probably work with and become part of our organization, but they need the time off to be deployed and they need to be not penalized for that. I'll just leave that out there for your consideration. We live in an area that has experienced natural disasters in the past. You know, none of us thought the mountain would ever blow. Ask Harry Truman. Oh, I'm sorry. He's not around it, is he? The fact of the matter is, and you sort of discussed it this morning, we got a situation up at Spirit Lake that if that sediment retainment wall collapses, we've been told by the authorities that there's going to be about 7 to 9 feet of mud in Kelso City Hall.
Yeah.
Anytime you have a natural disaster, gentlemen, local resources are overwhelmed always. They need every available, skilled, expert resource that they can pull in. If we can recruit enough folks in this county, we'll have a ready to hit the ground group of people that can work in conjunction with your emergency management infrastructures that now exist. The organization likes to have the opportunity to work with the organizations that manage or will manage our emergency services. That means they come in, they talk to the director of emergency services, they work out situations with fire departments, with police departments to see where they can help and how they can help. More importantly, to provide a phone number so that if something bad happens, and it will, that would be the phone call that would get bodies immediately here. As you know, state and federal resources take time to get deployed. We deploy within hours, literally. To facilitate getting the word out to folks, I'm going to ask you, gentlemen, to put together some sort of a program where we can bring the important key players in emergency services together, police departments, our chiefs, officers. I'd like to see the sheriff there as well, to listen to a presentation to talk about what it is that Team Rubicon does, can do, and the role they can play. It's not a matter if something's going to happen in Cowlitz County. It's going to at some point in time. And as our teams went north in the latest weather event up there, we send people everywhere the need is, within our state, nationally. Well, if you read the history, you'll find out we went to Haiti during that time. I personally was part of a team that went to Katrina. I don't want to go through that again. I also was in Oklahoma City after the tornado there. I've never seen anything like that. Well, I saw it in the service, but it's remarkable. But the fact of the matter is, we have a large pool of people that have unique skills, looking for a way to put them to use and accomplish something and be productive. All I'm asking for is there's any way that you can convene some sort of a public meeting, bring in the key players in this and just listen to a presentation about Team Rubicon, our purpose, our function, and our goals. Thank you for your time, gentlemen. Any questions?
I took a quick look at this earlier and I don't understand the structure of it. I don't know if they're chapters or what they are, but.
Yes, we have districts, just like the Red Cross has districts throughout the United States.
So looking at the map, there's basically Portland and then nothing until you hit Seattle, basically.
We're in the process now, Commissioner, to develop the program and get it instituted throughout the state. And our effort has been delayed because we can't get the message out to the key players when it comes to emergency management, just in the general public. We're trying to work through the different VA organizations. We're trying to just one-on-one. It's difficult. That's why we need an environment, an event, a program that will help us get the word out, especially here in Southwest Washington. And we've got real plans for the northern part of the state, for Yakima, and Spokane as well. There's just, as you know, Spokane is heavily populated by veterans. I followed our most recent wars and even mine many, many years ago. But we're in the process of growing the organization, quite frankly. And after the LA fires, I can tell you, it was enormous how many vets and skilled responders, first responders, joined the organization down there because that fire was so overwhelming. There wasn't enough of anything to make a difference. And in northern Washington, in the recent event, had that weather front moved a little bit south by 100 miles, we might be talking about a different circumstance down here, quite frankly.
Mr. Hill, I'd like to thank you for bringing this up. I had never heard of this before.
Yes, I
and then
understand.
with the information that you provided us, I researched it, and looks like it's a pretty remarkable organization. And it sounds like this organization, like many others, the biggest problem they have is getting the word out and their messaging to get people aware of what it is that they do. And I know that in our county, we have several men and women in uniform and out of uniform. One of them is standing in the back corner right now, Mr. Watson, Officer Watson back there, who have servant hearts and would be willing to participate in a program like this. And so I don't know what role the county can play in organizing something like this, but I personally would like to help out and partake in whatever I can to help. And if the county could, then that would be great too.
You have a great meeting room over there. You know the key players in emergency management, 911, all of those groups. If we could just get them all in one room so we can talk about this, it would be, I think, to the betterment of our entire emergency response system, because our organization does the key thing. We put boots on the ground with skills, experience. Gentlemen, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Welcome to 2020.
Yes, we're getting there.
I
We're getting there.
almost can say it.
Happy New Year. Happy holidays.
You too.
Stay safe and stay healthy.
Oh, a vertical.
Anything else?
Good morning again. Just a quick update on the forest practices discussions that we've been having and the non-representative move that the commission made. Lars Larson had a special interview yesterday on his pod with Dylan Hancoop, who is with the Save Family Farming. And the discussion is not only for our side, but also the concern of that same mentality moving to Eastern Washington. So it's just an update that others are concerned and we certainly need some action, I believe, at our legislative level for a non-representative group having such impact on all of us.
Yeah. You called that group Save Family Farming?
Save Family Farming is the name of their group, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I heard somebody talking about that conversation with Lars Larson, and it's something that we had talked about before, and that is that it's not gonna stop at forestry. It's gonna hit agriculture and everything all across the state.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And they're concerned and again, when you can do that amount of land grab, as we'll call it, with a non-representative commission, it's frightening. Thank you.
Anything else? I'm gonna pull a Arn and bring up a subject because more so we don't get the opportunity to sit in the back room and talk about these things, but we have something coming up that is, we've talked a lot about budget and you've seen insurance costs rise, you've seen different things happen. Well, we have a Humane Society contract coming up. You saw us extend the current one our current one with Humane Society. And this is just, we supply the officers that are out in the field and, picking up animals. We do that ourselves as a county. The cities do that themselves too. Humane Society no longer performs that function. So we do that function as a county. I don't know what we spend for a year. I couldn't tell you exactly, but I'm pretty sure you're probably in the six-figure range to do that, just for that service. And then we take them to the Humane Society and we pay a fee to them for taking those animals. And our contract currently with them, you saw it renew, is it $9,500 a month? So it's roughly $120,000 a year for the service that we get to take the animals to the Humane Society. That contract is in the process of being renewed, and I can tell you it is substantial increases. And they're asking for a 3-year contract, and it'll be substantial over the next 3 years. And I haven't seen the numbers, but I know the entities, the police chiefs, our sheriff, have been working with the different cities trying to hammer this out with Humane Society down in Southwest Washington, and they don't have a whole lot of give. They want this contract, and it's going to be a huge increase to the county. And I don't know what to do with this, to be honest with you. I'm struggling very hard. It's one of those, and I personally am looking for ideas of what to do. I had a conversation with Councilman Hill just briefly before the meeting, and he suggested maybe we bring the cities and us together, maybe a workshop, and kind of hammer over some options that we might have on this and just talk about it. Some of the things that run through my mind is we've somehow transferred you've transferred the ownership of a pet. You've transferred the irresponsibility to the entities. we now pay for anybody that's irresponsible with their pets, right? It's not the pet owner that takes on this burden anymore. We take it on or you take it on as taxpayers because it's coming out of general funds. And so things that run through my mind, if we're going to take on that role, then we need to have ways to try and recoup some of your money back. And I'm talking about property liens. I'm talking about something stiff that if they're going to hoard these animals and not take care of them in a responsible manner, and we have to step in, we should have some mechanism besides just a yellow fee or pink fee or whatever color paper they write it on to recoup some of your money back for this. And so I think we need to explore some of those ideas and try to put the burden back on the pet owner instead of on the county or on the city of Longview or the city of Kelso or the city of Castle Rock. And so I'm just kind of looking for ideas and I'd like to have more discussion on it. And if you think it'd be a good idea, I wouldn't mind trying to see if we could coordinate a workshop and bring everybody in, just have an overall discussion.
I'm all in favor of trying to find something besides the stipulations that are in the contract with the Humane Society. I'm very uncomfortable with where that's headed.
Yeah. You know, okay. You mind trying to coordinate some of that? And we'll do that before we have that. And you might work with I don't know if the sheriff's on, but he's been working real hard with this and we've had some conversations on this. It's like many things, these things start because they're trying to take care of animals and it starts as a volunteer thing, right? And they do a pretty good job. And then at some point it starts transforming where it's more about the funds than it is about the animals. And I'll give you an example of why I think this is the case in this particular one. When the Humane Society before Southwest Washington took it over and the Humane Society locally pretty much failed, we took on two of the officers that come out and we took some of the equipment and we go out and we'll collect stray animals. And we set up a temporary facility over our county jail to house those animals. And we had better than a 50% rate of finding their owners and getting them back to them. And it saved a lot of money because we weren't taking them to the shelter. When that Southwest Washington come in, they demanded that we get rid of that and bring all the animals to them. Now, if you really cared about the animals, what do you care? If the animals are being taken care of and you're getting them back to the owners, isn't that the goal? Well, that wasn't the goal. The goal is we want the money. So it's transferred into this organization. It's really not a volunteer. It's not a nonprofit. It runs as a nonprofit, but they're seeking money. And so our job, or at least my job, is to try and protect your money as best I can. And I get animals are very emotional. It's an emotional subject. You have people in here that will let people starve to death before they let an animal starve to death. And that's just straight reality of it. But I think we need to start having a conversation because it can't keep going at this rate. You're gonna be paying over the term of that contract. I think you're gonna be close to $1 million to when you count in the officers that we already have and do it. And that's $1 million that takes away from people's. That's all general fund money. That takes away from salaries we pay to all the departments and different things. It has to fit in there some way. So it's a tough conversation. It's not a fun conversation, but I think we need to have it. And sounds like we all agree to have a workshop. So, and we hope you participate because it needs to have a lot of voices in how we handle these things.
I appreciate you bringing that up, Chairman. Part of the thing that is very frustrating is that they pretty much got a monopoly on the whole thing in our area. And it is a nonprofit, but if you look at the paperwork that they sent us, they're planning on expanding their revenue and their footprint, increasing it 3 times, I think, over the next 5 years. So it's definitely about the money. And the unfortunate thing about it is if you look at, I'm one who really doesn't want the government stepping in to solve every single problem because we're horrible at that. But, you know, if you look at states like Florida, they didn't do anything for a long time with a lot of the pet owners bringing in exotic fish and reptiles and stuff. And now they have a major issue with snakes and with invasive species in their waterways that is wreaking havoc on the native species. So there's a lot of implications to not stepping in a situation like this. In our area, I don't know that we're not going to have that issue, but we can't also have dogs and cats and stuff running around, you know, breeding more feral dogs and cats all over the place. And we have that situation in some places throughout the county. So we need to address it. And I agree that as a pet owner, I have certain responsibilities that I'm responsible for, and I'm not going to pawn that off onto somebody else, but whatever we can do to incentivize people, I guess is the right word, to take care of their pets, then
Yeah.
I'm up for that conversation.
Okay, we'll try and do that.
I appreciate you bringing that up, and just to join into the conversation, the hallmark and foundation of our democratic conservative society is individual responsibilities. And this is a perfect opportunity as leaders to bring that home and saying pets are an individual responsibility that is a choice that is made. So you can use that. It's a choice that is made, and that we society are not responsible for everybody's pets. So your workshop idea is terrific because one, you get the communities together so that they have a common outlook, and then you set the goals. What is the goal of it? And what are the parameters that you expect it to be operated and managed? And then you can go out for the services for taking care of that. So to me, that's the format, not going with someone else's contract, but representing again us as the citizens of your county and communities and saying, this is what we want. Does any entity fulfill that responsibility? And does it have to be, can it be a nonprofit? Can it be an individual or whatever? So that would be a perfect way to tackle it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I couldn't agree with you more, you know, with freedoms, I sometimes get, we just can't let people do anything they want. Well, that's not the whole idea behind freedom. Freedoms come with duties. And I think one of the number one duty of freedom is you take responsibility for your actions. And you take care of, you don't pawn that off on somebody else. And that's what's happening here is there's really no responsibility for their actions. And I get there's some people that just love animals to death, that they overburden themselves to where they can't take care of them. But there has to be some kind of consequence to mitigate that. We just can't expect the taxpayer to keep paying that bill.
Right, and we see that, I'll just get back, raised in a ranching and farming community. Taking care of the animals is not just something that's fun, it's a responsibility. And when it's freezing cold, iced up, everything else, you have to do it. The same way we need to kind of integrate that into our society. That's a responsibility. Taking care of those animals is an individual's responsibility, is right.
Yeah. Okay, so we will work on that. I appreciate it. Anything else? Okay, last public meeting of the year. Everybody have a safe new year. From the three of us, we thank you for all your participation during 2025. Boy, it went by quick, didn't it? Did you think your first year would go this quick? It went quick. Yeah. Yeah, we have public works tomorrow, but we don't have any public meetings. Okay, Happy New Year. Thanks, everybody. We are adjourned.